Hello, good evening, Julius.
Good evening, ma'am.
Kumusta ang isang linggo?
Okay lang.
Hi, Tisay. Teresa,
Good
right?
evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
Ay,
Good evening,
naka-uniform
ma'am.
tayo ngayon na.
Ha?
Naka-uniform community sa ngayon na.
Naka-uniform pala kayo. So, ako hindi.
Ako lang mag-isa eh.
Naportahan lang kita.
Tama yan, maganda yan. Oo. Kasi yung uniform ko nilaban eh.
Sayang hindi nagagamit.
Tama. Kailangan
Salamat,
yan.
President.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good
Hello.
evening, Romelda. Yes, it's good you're back. So, kumusta ang isang linggo nagdaan?
Okay lang po, ma'am.
So, maayos naman tayong lahat.
Okay naman po.
Opo.
Wala ng curfew.
Oo nga. Ako hindi payag dun sa walang curfew. But then, it's their own responsibility. Own responsibility na tayo.
Yeah, tama.
Kung gusto nyong maging madamay dito sa COVID, lumakad pa kayo. Yun lang yun.
Gala pa ng gala.
So, it's your own responsibility. So, kailangan natin ng own responsibility ngayon. Either na tayo ay gagalaw or mananahimik. So, binibigyan lang tayo ng right ng gobyerno. So, Julius, Teresa, Romelda. Hi, Ilma. How are you?
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm very good, thank you.
So, thanks God, everybody's good. Jennifer is connecting. So, where is your video, Yilma, so we can see your face?
Oh, it's not showing.
So, we want everybody's face. Hi.
I will, ma'am.
Hi.
So, how is the past week with you?
Yeah, it was good. Very busy.
So good. Good to hear that. So everyone is just okay. Everyone is just doing fine. So that's good. So what about our lesson from the last time? How does it sink into you? To all of you? Still remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you still remember.
Yeah.
As I told you, you will never forget it because in our work or the work that you're going to take for the next years to come, that it's going to be there. So it is very important that you will know it, you will learn it by heart so that you will be using it. You can be, it is useful for you when you start your jobs.
Oh.
So how many are we now? Julius, Romelda, Tisay.
4.
So Yilma, 3, 4. So 4. We are about, how many of us the last time?
8.
8,
Ma'am, can I
8.
12, I think 12, 13.
8.
Ma'am, can I excuse a minute? Can I
Sure.
excuse? Okay.
Sure. So hopefully everybody could join because one without, one without anyone from you is not going to complete. But even we can start, we can go ahead. But the thing is, we are going to leave them behind. So it's better for us to go together in one meeting.
Yes, exactly.
So I hope you are doing good in what we have learned from the first lesson we had. So we are going to have our second lesson for today. And this will be about the anatomy and physiology. Okay, so every one of you who are new to these terms and medical terminologies. So it will be a little bit confusing, a little bit, difficult to digest because it will be, first time for you to hear these words, these terms, especially for anatomy and physiology. So Romelda is very happy to hear that.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are very happy to hear.
Yan yung
Anyway,
Yes, ma'am.
even this is new for you. So what I said is you are going to have it by heart. So this is your, basis. It's going to be your foundation. So what we are going to learn, it's going to be all your strong foundation. So you have to build your foundation from here. So are we going to start or Joy is already here, right? So Joy is here. There is another one who's going to be late. It's Jinky. Who is
Jinky.
Jinky? Where is Jinky? Not yet?
Still not in.
Okay, so Jinky is still coming, but she's going to be late because she will come from work. So the rest of us, are you still at work? All of you?
Yes,
Still
ma'am.
working by this time?
No.
No, I'm off
No.
today.
Not today, but you are working. Not only for today.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, it's so sad to hear. Because of this pandemic, everybody and every workplace has been affected by this COVID. Economic downfall, budget crisis, these are the things they are usually telling us now. But at least we still have our visa here.
Yeah. Free. Until December.
Up to December? Why up to December?
Just the
Extension, ma'am.
extension, yeah.
The
Extension of what?
government extension for the visa, for the visit visa.
Misty?
Aha, okay.
Yeah. Even though you have expired visa, they
Yeah, also
yeah,
expired.
Okay. Aha. But I heard about the amnesty something. They are giving the amnesty for those, Filipino like us who don't have anything from here. They are
selected.
going to give them an amnesty to go out for good, something. So it's
No,
good, you know.
I don't know,
At least
maybe.
they are going home. They can go home for good.
Yeah. Safe.
So what do you think? We are going to start now. We are already how many? 7, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So
Six.
almost half of the last time. So are we going to start now?
Yes.
Anyway, okay, I'm going to share now. So let's start. They can just whoever is coming because they know our time. So whoever is coming, let them join. So we could start. Let them catch up. Okay, so let me give you the slide now. Okay, so you can see the slide with you.
Yes.
So you have the slide now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are
Yes, ma'am.
going to study today about anatomy and physiology. What is it all about? As I said, it will be a little confusing. It will be a little difficult for each and every one of you, but this is the basic. Okay, so we have the fundamentals from the last time. Those are the basics of the nursing aid. And so now we are going to start with the fundamentals or the basics of the anatomy and physiology. So we are going to study about these structures and the functions, anatomy and physiology. So we have to define first what is a medical terminology, because everything here, it goes with a medical term. So when I say it's a medical term, this is an international name for such structure or anatomy that is given internationally by standard. So anywhere you go, only this medical term you will be using. There is no other else. Okay, so medical terminology is the language of medicine. Remember that it is the language of medicine. Whenever we are in our healthcare facility or in the work that we are going, the place that we are going to work later on, so we are going to use this language only. That's why it is called the language of medicine. It is all about the name they have given for each of the medical term. So it is a medical terminology, the language of medicine. So for those not familiar with the medical terms, it may seem difficult to pronounce and may appear to be rather complicated. However, just as when learning any language, once the structure of the vocabulary is known, the words themselves becomes understandable. So we will talk about the medical terminology after our anatomy and physiology. So let's forward with the basic human anatomy and physiology. We are going to discuss the basic human anatomy. It's about human being. Okay, so we are going to study about the human anatomy of the human body and the physiology. The difference between anatomy and physiology is that anatomy is the study of the structure of the body, while physiology is the study of how the body functions. So it goes hand in hand. These two together, the anatomy, which is the structure, and the physiology, which is the function, goes hand in hand. One without the other, you cannot make it as in anatomy and physiology of human being. Because one example is you have the structure like a bone. So you must define what does it function. What does the bone function is. Okay, so when studying the human body, one can look at the structure and the function at various levels. So like chemicals, we have the atoms and the molecules, the cellular level, those cells in the body, the tissues in the body, the organs in the human body, the systems in the human body, and the holistic, the organism, the organismic for the whole individual. So we are going to talk about anatomy and physiology, and this is the basic and this is the foundation. So anatomy, again, is the study of the structure. Remember that anatomy is a structure. Physiology is the function. Okay, so going forward, this is an anatomical position. The standard method of how we observe a human in anatomical position. The anatomical position is a standardized method of observing or imaging the body that allows precise and consistent anatomical references. When we say anatomy, anatomical, that refers to the structure. Okay, so as you can see here, there is a posterior, there is a lateral. Lateral is on the side, the posterior is in front, and the anterior is the back. So going forward, we have to learn the reclining positions. There are positions in the body that we are not going to say like the position is facing up. No, we are going to talk in a medical term. So the body which is facing up is called supine. Supine is the position of the body which is facing up. Sorry?
Yeah.
Anybody is talking there? You can hear me?
Ma'am, masyado pong mabilis eh. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm
So,
sorry po to interrupt kasi hindi po ako masyado makakatch up eh.
sino yan? Sino yung nagsasalita? May I know?
Joy.
Who is the one talking
Joy
about
Jimeno
this?
po.
Joy
Jimeno po.
Joy. Okay, Joy. Okay. So,
Ma'am, Joy Jimeno po.
Joy Jimeno, yes, Joy. Hi. So, I mean, this one, I'd rather talk to you more on Tagalog. But since we have one, foreigner who is with us, Yilma, so due respect to her, so we're going to talk more on English. But then I can just
it's okay, ma'am.
translate
You can speak in English, ma'am. I'm just saying, ma'am.
Yeah?
There's no problem with me talking with you in English. I'm just saying that I just cannot catch up because you're so fast.
Okay, fine. So we will just continue. So if there is anything that I wanted to explain in Tagalog, I can. Okay? So Yilma, due respect to Yilma, I will just explain something in Tagalog so that for them to catch up more and to understand well. Okay ba
Okay,
yun?
no problem.
Okay, okay. So do you want me to go back from the previous, Joy, or we'll just continue? So we'll just continue. Okay, so we are here now with reclining.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Do you want to go back from the beginning or is it okay now?
This one, ma'am.
Okay na dito?
Anatomical position.
Anatomical position.
This one, the anatomical position. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. The anatomical
Anyway,
position.
so for everybody's sake, okay, so I'm going to repeat it again. This anatomical position is a standardized method of observing or imaging the body that allows precise and consistent anatomical references. Usually, this anatomical position, we are using it during the time for the radiology or imaging. When we are taking the MRI, we are taking the ultrasound, we are taking the CT scan. So all of this anatomical position is required. So we will know exactly where is the posterior, the one in facing upright is the posterior. The second is anterior at the back. And the third is the lateral on the side. So yung mga anatomical position na ito, ginagamit natin sa mga x-ray, sa mga imaging, diagnostic imaging. So when the doctor wanted yung mga 3D, just like for the MRI, they wanted the 3-dimensional. In an ultrasound, they want the 3D echo or the 6D echo to slice so that they can go on more deeper dun sa mga organs. Okay, so that is anatomical position. This reclining position, we are talking about the position of the body which is facing up, that is supine, and facing down is prone. So these positions, we are going to use it till we finish this course. Because by the time positioning of the patients, we are going to use this. So supine, as you can, remember, it is facing up, supine. Facing down is prone, okay? So now the sections, just like anatomical position, so we have the sections. And these sections are flat surfaces resulting from cuts through body structures. They are named according to plate on which the cut is made and includes. So that means to say, when you can see the first photo here, it is in the frontal coronal phase. So during the time in an X-ray imaging, the doctor is ordering a frontal image. Means to say it is in front or facing front, facing in front. Sagittal is on the lengthwise, it is hopped on the lengthwise, sagittal. And the transverse horizontal plane is on the lower and upper half. Okay, so we have these sections, the frontal, the sagittal, and the transverse horizontal. So we have 11 systems of the human body. So these 11 the system of the human body includes all the system or all the structures of the body. So we have 11. What are those? So integumentary is on the skin. We are talking about the skin when we say the medical term integumentary system. So it is the system of the body that refers to the skin. Skeletal system, it refers to the bones, the skeletal system. Muscular system denotes or refers to the muscles of the body. Endocrine denotes all the organs of the body. Cardiovascular is about the heart and the veins, the venous system. Circulatory system is about the flow of the circulation, the blood circulation within the body. Respiratory system is about the breathing system, the lungs. This is referring to the breathing system. Digestive system is about the stomach, the mouth, the stomach, and the anus. This is called digestive system or the gastrointestinal tract. Nervous system is about the nerves of the body. Urinary system is about the urine, how we are passing through the urine, how the urine is being formed. It is in the urinary system. Reproductive system, both male and the female have the reproductive system. So we will discuss each one of them, we have to discuss it accordingly. Okay, so you know now that the human body consists of 11 systems. We'll start with the skin or the integumentary system. So when we say integumentary, it refers to the skin. When you are in a healthcare facility, the doctor is not going to tell you about the skin. So they are going to talk to you about the integumentary system. They will not talk to you about the skin. So it's about integumentary system. So the skin completely covers the body and joins unto membranes covering orifices. So all of this body that we have now is been covered by a skin. And it joins into the membranes covering orifices. All of our openings are called orifices. So all of this skin that covers the body, it covers also those that have opening. So it protects the underlying tissues against injury and attack by microbes. So ito yung first defense. This is the first defense of the body against injury and the attack of microbes. Sensory nerve receptors perceive pain. So there is a sensory nerve that perceives pain. So we can perceive the cold, the heat, the touch, and pressure, while motor fibers produces the required reaction. So whenever we feel the hot, just like at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and you are out in the sun, so you will feel the scoring heat. Okay, so that heat you are receiving, perceiving. So that is one of the purpose of your skin. It perceives the temperature. Skin plays a vital role in the maintenance of normal body temperature, formation of vitamin D, and is capable of absorption. So as I said, when you are under the sun, so the skin plays an important role, and this is the maintenance of our normal body temperature. So if it is hot, the temperature of our body goes down. When it is hot, the temperature of our body goes up. And when it is cold, it goes down to zero, or it goes down to the coldest. So the skin also absorbs vitamin D through the skin. That's why we need to go out at around 10, at around 9 o'clock in the morning up to the 12 o'clock, so that we can absorb the vitamin D through the skin given by the sun, the rays of the sun. Okay, so that is good for our health if we can absorb through our skin. So the appearance of the skin is quite different in various body sites. There are sites which are smooth, there are soft, there are rough, and there are furrowed. Yung furrowed is like wrinkled, yung bukol-bukol, what do you call that one? Kulubot. So there is also a wide variation in skin thickness. There are parts of our body which is very thin, like our eyelids, they are paper thin. And the soles of our feet are 10 to 20 times thicker. Could you imagine that? That in our part of the body, in every part of our body, there are different kinds of smooth skin, the silky skin they are calling, the soft or rough, or the furrowed. So there is a paper thin and a thicker more to the sole. So this is the skin. So now we go to this photo. If you can see in your slides, we have the photo of the skin here. And the skin is being covered by hair. Okay, so most of us, there are hairs. But most of us also are less, the hair are less for the skin. So that's why they are more smoother than those who have more of the hairs. So we have, if you can see the skin itself, we have the hair on the surface, we have the sebaceous gland, we have the sensory nerve endings that we can feel the pain, and it divides into three. We have the epidermis, it's the outer lining of the skin. We have the dermis, it's the second lining, and subcutaneous tissues. So also in that skin, we have the capillaries, we have the sweat gland that produces the sweat, we have the muscles underneath, we have the fat, collagen, and the fibroblast. We talk about epidermis. It is the outer layer of the skin, or we call it epidermis. It contains stratified epithelial tissues. The surface consists of several layers of cornified dead cells that are constantly being rubbed off. Whenever we take bath, every time that we take bath, these dead cells are being rubbed off, and it's been going to be changed with a new one. So it is good for us to take bath so that when we scrub it, so the dead cells are going out, they are gone. So sweat gland ducts and hairs pass through the epidermis. Dermis is the second layer of the skin, and it is a top layer of the skin located below the epidermis. So comprising of connective tissues with elastic and collagen fibers. That's why when we are young, it is full of collagen. So the elasticity of our skin is too elastic because of this collagen produced. So a network of blood vessels and lymph vessels permeate the dermis, assisting the regulation of body temperature. So this is where in the dermis, the body temperature is being regulated. So sensory nerve endings, sweat glands and ducts, hair follicles, and sebaceous glands are also in the layers of the skin. So sebaceous glands, they are located in the dermis. So they secrete an oily fluid called sebum to lubricate and protect the skin and hair. If you experience like 2 or 3 days without taking bath, without hair shampooing or head bath, so what do you feel? The sebum produces oil on the hair, on the scalp, so that you will feel like there is oil on your hair. So it comes from the sebaceous gland. So sebaceous glands that produces sebum, it lubricates and protect the skin and hair. Subcutaneous tissues, they are tissues directly beneath the dermis, and it is called the subcutaneous tissue. Subcutaneous tissue, this is the place where we are injecting our insulin. Those diabetic patients, now that you are not in the healthcare facility, but when you are at home, one of your beloved has diabetes and they are injecting insulin, so they are injecting it in the subcutaneous tissue, the fat side. Those are the subcutaneous tissues. The sweat glands are located in the dermis. They release sweat onto the skin via sweat gland ducts. So that's why we are experiencing perspiration or sweating through tiny depressions like pores. That's why when the pores are open and it's too hot, now your sweat glands is starting to produce sweat. So other sweat glands open onto the hair follicles. That's why, as I said, it's coming out. Yung sebaceous glands, yung sweat glands ninyo nagpo-produce ng oil. So that's why your hair become oily also. So sweat is important for the maintenance of the normal body temperature. So we'll go with the number 2, it's circulatory system. What is circulatory system about? It consists of the heart, which acts as a pump, and the blood vessels through which blood circulates. This is the circulatory system, the flow of the blood inside of our body. So the primary function of this system is to carry blood containing oxygen, nutrients, and chemicals to the cells, and to carry waste products away from cells for elimination. So what does it mean? What does this circulatory system gives us? It pumps blood. It pumps blood through the blood vessels, and it circulates into the body. The primary function then is to carry blood containing oxygen. Those oxygenated blood passes through the veins, and it gives oxygen, it gives nutrients and chemicals to the cells, and by passing, it carries waste products away from cells for elimination. Just like in the sweat glands, all those products that is already not going to be used by the body, it's going to be excreted through the circulatory system, and it takes away, or it is taken away from the body itself. So that is the role of the circulatory system. This is the circulatory system. You can see all the veins in every parts of our body. So this oxygenated blood is coming from the heart to support or to provide nutrients to the cells for all the body's use. Okay, so there is a blue that denotes for the veins, and the red is for the arteries. Talking about the arteries and the veins. Arteries, they carry blood from the heart. So all arteries, with the exemption of the pulmonary artery, it carries oxygenated blood. So means to say oxygenated is good for the cells. It is brighter than the oxygenated blood. When we call the oxygenated blood, they are not the oxygenated and they are the waste products. They are carrying the waste products, which passes through the veins with the exemption of the pulmonary vein. Most of the major arteries are shown in the diagram to the right. We have seen from there, and I'm going to show you another photo. Arteries divide into smaller and smaller branches. The one that is smaller, you have seen this one, those smaller ones, they are called the arteries. When you cut this, it will just spark, okay? Bumubuhos. But the veins, it's very slow. So this is how you compare the arteries between arteries and the vein. Arteries, they are just sparking. When you cut your vein, when you cut your artery, you will know it is artery when the blood sparks out. So it is so fast, it sparks out. Not like the veins are just slowly moving. Okay, they carry unoxygenated or deoxygenated veins. So the arteries divide into smaller and smaller branches, and the smallest of these are called arterioles. So the arterial walls comprise 3 layers, and the middle layer of which is extremely elastic. So veins comprise the same 3 layers as arteries, but are thinner because there is less muscle and elastic tissues. In certain veins, especially those of the lower limbs, venous return is dependent on muscle contraction and the tissue fluid pressure. And backflow is prevented by a large number of valves. So you know now what is artery and what is vein. It is considered as red color for the arteries, and the veins are the blue color. So this is, this is the anatomy of the heart. So we can see here in this diagram, in this photo, to the left here is the superior vena cava.